Alright, evening gents. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be with you guys in a second. Here he is indeed. Ah, look at that, yeah. Good evening, gents. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be on the mic as soon as we start quality, so yeah. Just make sure that the stream is running, and yeah. And I hope everyone can hear my voice. Evening, Jumbo John, yeah, happy to see you now. My new driver after the transfers. Good luck for the race. Predictions. I've got to check the division first. I've been jumping on Tuesdays between all the divisions now. This is my first time covering Apex. I'll be catching up on the standings as soon as we go into the quali. Good evening, mate. Fair play for jumping in. No problem. Evening. Carl Edens. Hello, hello. I'm going to be sitting out quali to focus on the race, not feeling well from the heat this afternoon. Ooh, yeah. Don't stress yourself out, no worries. Mexico will be really an endurance race, so for everyone that is listening right now and didn't do practice or whatever. Tonight, tire wear won't be the problem, but tire temperature, of course, especially through that middle sector, sector 2. Crazy asses, and yeah, so even if you sit out the quali starting from the back, I assume there's a lot of places to gain, just with consistency, so best of luck, and of course get well soon. Hope it's nothing too serious. Stream all good, loud and clear, radio check. Copy, copy, nice. So it is 8 o'clock now, but we've got a 5-minute delay. So yeah. I mean, let me have a look at the standings while we're waiting, right? Apex Season 12, Race 7, Mexico. Divi Alburo leading row by 75 points? Damn. Behind Jonathan Apex and Clyde with Hayes in P4 and 1 point behind Jumbo John in P5. Interesting. What are the constructors? Obviously Williams leading. By, I mean, Sauber is trying. Hayes and Real Joker. And looks like all the names I've just mentioned are also racing tonight. Attendance in Apex is pretty good, as it seems. Yeah, let's see what happens. So we've got Divi, who is obviously going to be our favorite tonight, but maybe we will have a surprise tonight. First, second, third, fourth. Only one race win from Divi so far. Interesting. What happened in Australia? P4? Yeah, okay. But apart from that, 5 out of 6 times on the podium. With Little Jumbo John winning last week out in Kota. Yeah, but apart from that, I don't know who won Canada because it was a reserve back then. Might be a full-time by now, but in week 2 it says AI driver. But if it wasn't one of the other 5, Divi, Coop, Pace, BITW and Jumbo John, we've got 5 or 6 different race winners out of the first 6 races so far. So yeah, even more surprised that the standings are not any closer than that. 75 points seems a lot. Okay, so P2, Jonathan Apex with 1 DNF, Clyde, 1 DNF, Hayes, 1 DNF. That's probably the reason. Out of the top 4, Divi Alpro were the only one finishing all 6 races so far. What about Jumbo John? Yeah, 1 DNF as well. So yeah, I guess that's the reason. So everything could change at a moment's notice. So if Divi would crash, which I'm obviously not hoping, but if he would, it would make that championship wide open again. And we're only halfway through, so lots can happen. Williams team orders in Baku. What happened there? I've not DNF and had not had a time pen. Luck on my side at the moment. Mark Epton, I assume that's you, Divi? Yeah, great season from you so far. Very consistent. Can't deny that, and P1 for a reason then. Not even the time pen is very impressive though, especially around tracks like Kota. Yeah, it's you. Yeah, Kota easy to get. Canada and Kota, no pens there. That's impressive. GG, mate. Don't speak about Baku. Ooh. Alright. 1 more minute. 15 drivers currently. We should be going pretty soon. Good luck everyone, not you, Jonathan. Ah, Divi. Do you believe in karma? I mean, like I said, I hope no one DNFs, but if someone would crash out tonight, wouldn't it be great if it would be the championship leader? Either way, once more, we're going now. Drivers are readying up. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, I'm happy to step in for you guys tonight. And we'll see what happens. Don't jinx me. You're jinxing yourself, mate. Commentator's curse now. I mean, it's only fair. Everyone else got a DNF already. You're the only one left. I'm sorry. Yeah, good luck everyone. And here we go. Tuesday night, Apex Division, Season 12, round 7 out of 12, around Mexico. Short quali and 50% race. Let me check on the weather. It's forced dry next week in Brazil. Wet to dry conditions. I hope the drivers are prepared for that. But not tonight. Unfortunately, as some drivers would say, especially in the every driver might be complaining about that sooner or later because tire temperature is going to be a huge deal tonight. But we will talk about that as soon as this becomes a problem. So within the first 5 laps of the race. For now, though, 18 minutes of qualifying. We've got 15 drivers tonight. I mean, good enough for Mexico, I would say, right? Who's gonna be the first one on track? If someone is thinking right now, how do I counter the high tire temperatures with my setup? Well, first of all, sure, I guess you could try, but be ready for your tires to burn either way. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can like stretch it out a little bit and give them a lap or two longer in the optimal window, but yeah, best you can do is higher wings, of course, full tire pressures, both on front and rears, and maybe, I guess, higher anti-roll just to save yourself in the second sector S's. But like I said, be prepared. Tires are gonna be heating up so quickly. First count track. Oh no, this is gonna happen again. New division for me, so I've got some names that I don't know how to spell. Korshi? Koreshi? Kershi? Ker? She28? No, what are we gonna say? I'm gonna say Korshi. Korshi 28. Yeah, the McLaren driver on its outlap right now, coming towards Sector 3 into the stadium, where fireworks will be waiting for the race winner later on this evening. And into the final corner, ERS on, burning the battery down that very long finish straight. So even in this awful game with the bad dirty air and the little to none existing slipstream, I assume we will see some overtakes tonight into turn 1, especially at the start. Pole position might not be the real pole position here. Usually you say P2 or even P3 is the real pole in Mexico, because you can just instantly tuck in behind that race leader and yeah, go for a move down into turn 1. After watching the standings now, predictions would probably be yeah, I mean, it would be stupid not to bet on Divi, but he's going for consistency rather than race wins. Only 1 out of 6 race wins for him so far. So why not predict another one, right? I'll give you, yeah, I'll wait with my prediction till after quali. As we get the first time on the board, a 1:17.7, valid as well. And I think the Ferrari was next. That's Lil Jumbo John, last week's race winner, and this is Clyde was ahead of him, setting 1:16.8. Yeah, both of them actually, and this is Clyde just ahead for now. Pretty tight. As Devil Bro goes 3 times faster, 1:16.5. Yeah, it's hard to tell at the moment what the pole time could be, as the track is yeah, still improving. As Alan is completing his final lap, his flying lap, 1:17.5, just ahead of Korshi into P4. Just now beaten by Glorious Striker with, yeah, a 1:16. Next over the line will be Jonathan Mooney in the Red Bull. Tight on the exit here. And yeah, well done. That's a good lap. Low 1:16 for him, 4 tenths quicker. I was just about to say that that track improvement is huge around here. And it doesn't depend on how many cars there are on track, it's actually just improving over time anyway, even though when there's no car driving, the track will become better. Not that realistic, but let's ignore that for now. Yeah, so with 12 minutes left to go and only 13 cars on track, as both Aston Martins retired, I would assume due to quali ban, and one of them was in the chat saying he doesn't feel well, so he's going to sit quali out. Yeah, so traffic shouldn't be an issue, as Destructive J actually not retired, but invalidated his lap. So we're gonna skip on board with, I guess, Met F1, yeah, not Met F1, PRL, Met, sorry. Ah, look at that chrome livery of the McLaren, I just noticed that. Beautiful. Actually, is he saving? He's got it into none. Yeah, he's 1.3 seconds down. He's not on a flying lap then. What about Alan? Yeah, equal sector 1, slightly ahead. But maybe he saved some ERS for the rest of the lap. We've got Hayes on his out lap, about to start his next lap. A McLaren ahead, that would be Matt, who is charging. So Alan is the next one here to finish a flyer. Through the S's of sector 2. What's the split? Just ahead of his PB. Apparently purple. Not sure if that's correct. But yeah, ooh, little power drift there at the exit of the stadium, and he aborts his lap actually. Not happy with it. 11 minutes to go. He can go for another lap or two actually. And softs should be plenty in the pit lane there. As Matt now goes for another run. His teammate Korshi about to start a lap, and actually BLYE 7 about to set his first lap of this quali session with a 1:17.8. Only P8 for him for now, but he's got a banker in, so that's okay. Hayes still going. In that beautiful steak Sauber car. Final corner for him. What's it gonna be? Yeah, tight on the exit here again. 1:17.6, that's P7 for him. Just behind Alan. As Matt now improved to 1:17.7, beating his teammate by only 200s, who's also on a flying lap and half a second up. So he is, yeah, maybe looking to close that gap to P5, challenging Glorious Striker. Final corner, looking good. Slingshot over the line, 1:17.2, improving by over half a second. Not quite enough for the top 5, but yeah, like I said, track is going to improve big time. As we've got two cars here back to back, that's not ideal. Is that Divi? Yeah, Divi, you are not allowed to overtake here, I'm afraid. That would count as impeding. I don't know what happened there in that third sector, in the prep lap, but yeah, that's not ideal, of course. As we have Clyde going for the spin in turn 1, I think it was. Or maybe just a little deep. Hayes coming into the pits. What about the Ferrari? Jumbo John over the line, improving by 4/10, beating Divi Albu for P2. Korshi invalid, fuel light flashing, so he won't be able to do another lap. But what about Who is it? There he is. Glorious Striker. Purple Sector 2, I didn't see the splits, but I assume he is improving. With Divi. Ah, okay. Glorious abandoned that lap and Divi is now gonna start his flying lap. Fuel light is looking okay, so that shouldn't have hurt him too much. In fact, he's now on 1 lap less fuel, so maybe this is what he wants. As Destructive J 116.2, closing that gap to P1 to down to little over a tenth. Great lap from the Ferrari. P2 and 3 for them right now. So yeah, it's Divi now to respond. What's our championship leader gonna do here? Beautiful camera angle here through the S's. Second sector split and he invalidates. Still 7 minutes to go though, so he's got enough time, but the pressure is on. Only P4 for him right now. And only 2 more cars on track. And I don't think it's 3 actually, but I don't think any of them are on a flying lap. Jay just set his lap time. Joker is lagging like crazy. Hui. Ui. Okay. But I guess our Haas driver is about to start his flying lap, so let's go on board with him. Actually, really on board for that matter. I know we're already 12 minutes in, but let's analyze this lap on board here. Hopefully he doesn't do a mistake. 340 kilometers per hour, reaching turn 1. 3 high curbs that could easily unsettle the car. However, still the best take opportunity for tonight. Another DRS with the same DRS detection point from, sector 3 all the way back there. Now the technical sector 2, little oversteer there. Had to catch his car, lost maybe a 10 for 2. And now the S's. And this is exactly where the tires are gonna scream during the race. And into the stadium, sector 3. Not a difficult one, especially if you are not on full TC. Easy to oversteer through these final corners. And final corner, don't go wide like Bottas did back then. And over the line with the 1:17.4, improving by 3.5 tenths, beating his teammate for P8. Corsi, the next one. Yeah, look at this. Beautiful angle, I like that. Pushing his McLaren through the S's all the way to the limit. Ooh, half a tenth up, good sector 2 for him. Looking for P5, maybe P4, depending on that third sector. But he could challenge Clyde here. Good traction out of the final corner, and that McLaren pilot with the 1:16.6 just behind Divi into P5. And Divi is now starting what could be his final hot lap. Actually, once again, he's in none, so he's going for that extra out lap, or prep lap as some would say, to get that fuel level down. Little Jumbo John over the line, improving by 1.5 tenths. Not enough to beat his teammate, but improves to 1:16.3 P3 as Clyde jumps into P4 with a 1:16.4. Devielburu now down to P5. Pressure is on him, but he is out there on track, ready to attack. 3 minutes to go with, yeah, his double out lap. I assume he only got fuel for 1 lap. McLaren's next over the line. Matt starting his lap. Corsi about to finish his, but he just did one. That's a sim lap, isn't it? Indeed it is. That should be actually no, I think if he rushes back out he might be able to go for another run. Alan, I think I just saw pop up purple sector 2 there, but he gets into a little bit of traffic here now in sector 3. Got that Red Bull going into the pits, the stake over the line, but he's starting his lap. The Haas of Alan improving by 0.3, 1:17.2, stays in P8 though, because there's quite a big gap to P7. Both Ferraris on a hot lap. Next one to cross the line would be Clyde, who is starting a final run. Next one is Matt, currently sitting in P12. So I assume we had 2 quali bands then, and BITW was the one sitting out due to what could be a heat stroke. Once again, hope you're doing okay, mate. Matt improving by 1.5 tenths, 1:17.6, beating Real Joker for P11. And now the Ferraris with Destructive J. Also, I think, did a double out lap for minimum fuel. So he is starting his fast lap now. And Divi misses out on pole just by 0.5 tenth. P2, a 1:16.1. But that could be the pole for the Red Bull. But I don't think it is. I don't think it will be. Do we have Slipstream team play here from Stake? Not quite. A little too big of a gap here from Real Joker, who just improved to P8 with a 1:17 flat. I think next one is Clyde going over the line. A little improvement out of sector 2, but I think, yeah, he's aborting that lap. P5 for him at the moment. Glorious Striker cutting the corners in sector 2 here as time is running low for quali with the yellow flags at the moment from low fuel Divi. I think it is, yeah. I can't see the session timer, I'm afraid. And that is now Jonathan Mooney starting his flying lap. And there is the checkered flag. Glorious Striker not able to improve. And yeah, I assume that's gonna be pole for Jonathan Mooney already. Unless either Hayes or Matt are going for something really crazy now. That ain't too bad. Improving by 7 tenths is Hayes, now in 8th. With Matt, yeah, a little down on his sector 1 time. Jonathan Mooney ahead of him. Mate, if you're listening, this is already pole, so you could do a Bottas and go cut some grass here and there, or just pull into the pits. He invalidates, doesn't matter though, it's P1 for the Red Bull. Matt, the last one on track. Oh, he's improving by 3 tenths, a little over actually. Could challenge one, maybe both Haas, and aim for that top 10 in the grid. That looked like a good third sector. I think he might be onto P10 here. What's it gonna be? It's P10 by 2 hundredths. 1:17.2. And with that, we completed qualifying. So, let me check for a driver in the top 5 that doesn't have a race win, and it is in fact our lobby host. So I'm gonna be predicting him for P1 now. It is a close grid, look at that. Like a tenth sometimes less between each driver there. Yeah, so Jay's PB was a P2, I think, in Austria. So I'm gonna say Jay P1, Mooney P2, and Jumbo John P3. That's my prediction. Anyone in the stream, yeah, feel free to give a prediction as well. Oh damn, I feel very slow on the straight. I mean, yes, but that could come in handy for both tire wear and tire temps in sector 2 and 3. Your quali time didn't look too bad, so maybe it's okay. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so who's in the chat? Give me a poll, not poll, sorry, we just said qualifying. Give me your podium predictions. Once again, from me, it's gonna be Jay, Mooney, and Jumbo John. Sorry, Divi, but I'm always for the underdogs, so John turn 1 having a Siggy with the Marshall. Oh, sorry. La 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 la. Forced rye. Not a big fan of it, but I assume I'm the only one here enjoying wet races. I'll write it down so I don't forget. Prediction. P1 J, P2 Mooney, and P3 Johnny Boy. Yeah, so little Jumbo John, Sauber X is watching, you know that of course. I don't mind starting P15, lets me watch the cars ahead and watch for any madness. Indeed, be careful into turn 1, as we are heading on into that formation lap. Starting from the back with BITW, who didn't set a lap time due to personal condition, and ahead of him both Aston Martins. Let me check actually on the Discord now. Did they have a quali ban? Unless one of you guys knows, just pop it into the chat. Indeed, both Astons with the quali ban here. Ahead of them, both Haas drivers. We are missing one as, yeah. Little incident there, but luckily for Pam Bowden, no damage in the formation lap. Yeah, so BITW P15, the Aston Martins of Royal Rumble and Pam Bowden P14 and 13. The two Haas drivers ahead in, yeah, with Bly and Allen in P12 and 11. Matt with that final quali time, yeah, got himself into P10. Once again another team together here, P9 and 8 for Real Joker and Hayes. Glorious Striker in the Red Bull in P7, Corshi in the McLaren on P6, Clyde 5th in the Visa car. Then the second front row is a Ferrari lockout with Little Jumbo John and Destructive J, with our championship leader Divila Brewer in P2, and on pole our Red Bull driver Jonathan Mooney. As always, we'll jump on board with P3, who will be our cameraman for the race start, and who might be in the real pole tonight, as he is right behind that Red Bull, ready for the slipstream as soon as we, yeah, head into turn 1. The lights are going on. 3, 4, 5 lights, and the Mexico Grand Prix is underway. Good launch off the line from the Williams, getting a little bit of a better start. Jay actually not going into the slipstream. Now he is behind the Red Bull, and look at him. Divi might be right. He might have a little more wing than the others here. Jay, yeah, was looking for a move there for a second, but decided to stay behind Mooney for now. Do we have any contact side by side, especially around turn 3? Some people could go wide, but it's looking clean. No yellows, no nothing, except for Bly, who is 9 seconds back. I hope he didn't go in anti-stall or whatever it was, as Hayes is dropping a few places. Maybe for an illegal overtake or something, as we've got yellows again. But I don't see any cars off track. Corsi side by side into Sector 2 S's here with Glorious Striker. The Red Bull staying ahead for now. Already a gap to the top 3, 2.5 seconds between him and Diviel Burrow. So, yeah, Jumbo John losing out on the start here. Does he have wing damage? Front right is missing his end blade, yes indeed. A little bit of a dive here from the Haas, looking to get a move done on the inside of Real Joker. Backs out though, so yeah, that's lap 1 complete. Glorious Striker is gaining on Divi though, so he might be able to get back. No DRS on this lap just yet, apart from that short one in Sector 2, as Jumbo John was having a look there on that McLaren. McLaren going defensive. And now the Stake might be having a run here. Tighter line for the Stake. Outside line for him now, who's braking later, side by side. Just leaving each other enough space. Very respectful there. And the Ferrari stays ahead. Great racing here. Can't believe that's our slowest division. Good promotion for PGR here. Very clean so far. As Jonathan Mooney just in time for the first possible DRS section. Yeah, over a second and a half ahead of Destructive J, who is right away losing out on Diviel Burrow here. But with that 1.5 second gap to the car ahead, yeah, Divi won't get any DRS here, and I assume J might be able to get back on him right away. Especially with that lower wing Divi was talking about. Oh yeah, look at that. He is gaining. He's gaining big time. And that's an easy run for the Ferrari. However, Burrow is making use of his high wings and brakes super late. Gets back ahead into P2. Once again, DRS for the Ferrari. And look at that gain. That could be an interesting one. And yeah, Divi can't counter that one. Can he? Maybe better line here through the slow corners, but for now Destructive J secures P2 with Jonathan Mooney in P1 now. Very happy that the cars behind him are fighting. Over 2 seconds the lead for him now, but as we go on further into the race, tire management will be crucial, as well as penalties. I had to say it. Once again with the higher wing, a way better exit here for Diviel Burrow in Sector 2. Decides to stay behind J for this time though, as he now wants to make use of that DRS himself, and let's see the difference of that high speed. I could imagine that the Ferrari might just be able to keep a distance here. J got a little more ERS to defend himself, and look at that, yeah. Divi is not having an easy time here. So if Jay plays it smart, there isn't a chance for Diviel Burrow to overtake on the straights. As Corsi is going into the pits, maybe I assume for a new front wing, as his teammate now got spun in turn 1, and both McLarens are dropping back. Yeah, so 3.5 laps in. J and Divi are fighting. Jonathan Mooney is getting away. That gap extending to 3.6, 3.7 seconds now. Little Jumbo John, recovered after the race start, is now in P4. As we've got yellows, and that might be the first incident caused by tire temperature. We are 4 laps in. Around now, the tires are going to start overheating. What do we have? We've actually got a split grid here with mediums and hards. Of course, no one on the softs. But I think strategy is going to be something like 15 laps mediums. And I think actually a little more. Before you go to the hards, strategy with tire wear should be a one-stop, medium hard or hard medium. But the tire temperature could be a real pain in the, you know. Let's have a look at the position changes. Jonathan Mooney obviously kept P1 from that pole. Jay made his way past Divi for P2. Jumbo John dropped back to P6 or 7 it was, but regained that 4th position now with, yeah, a few drivers behind that profited from Corsi dropping to the end of the field. Actually, yeah, I forgot about that. Jumbo John's got damage and is still pulling away from the cars behind him. Great pace. Luckily for him, it's the right end plate, so it will only affect left-handers. So good for him that we are going clockwise around this Mexico Grand Prix. Another yellow flag. It's Allen once again. This might be tires, but this time it's a big impact. Front wing all the way gone. So is he even gonna make it into the pits? He is getting 10 seconds in the process. Is he gonna retire? He is. That's our first DNF, unfortunately. It's only in the pits, but we are now down to 14 drivers. Divi Alburo managed to get back into P2 and dropped Jay out of the DRS. And in these S's now, I do not see Jay gaining with that lower wing. But for everyone that's struggling with tire temperatures already, yeah, there's no other option than turning your ERS down to none for the S's. Otherwise, these rears are gonna, yeah, scream even more than they already are. Winner of the start by far, Royal Rumble, down from P14 all the way up to 7th now. And yeah, we could still fight for that. It's still a close grid. Anything could happen. We've got Jay into the pits. Did something happen here? He's got no damage, does he? No, it's just a fresh set of tires. That is definitely a 2-stop then, is it? 2 sets of hards for him to the end. I don't think he can bring these hards he's now on all the way to the end. 30 laps. Doesn't seem realistic. But at least he's got clean air if he's able to stay ahead of Matt, which he is. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's stay on board with Hayes here for now, as we've got the first, the first 3 seconds for Bly in the Haas. And it definitely won't be the last one. So Jonathan Moody leading the Grand Prix. Divi Alburo is catching him slowly. Might be with his higher wings. The better setup over time, as he is definitely saving these tires. Or are they on different tires actually? They are. That's the mediums going down. That's the hards coming into play now for him. So yeah, but he's got to catch him on that alternate strat. He really wants to overtake him. As the second Ferrari is now coming into the pits, hopefully he is gonna change his wing. Yeah, they are. If I win, can you buy me Chinese? I just noticed that message. You know what? I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but if you manage to win, sure. I said it now. Obviously, with his wing change, he dropped almost 10 seconds behind his teammate. You lose about, I think, 6 extra seconds for changing a wing in the pit lane. Fresh set of hearts for him as well now. And with that, I assume both Ferraris will be on a one-stop. Right now on board with Royal Rumble, chasing Hayes and Glorious Striker for P3. Royal Rumble on the hards, with the two ahead of him on mediums, as the Aston Martin goes wide there with the dirty air of the car ahead. Really awful in this game. The closer you are, the worse it gets. Making overtaking really difficult, but that long straight is making it possible, as Glorious Striker next one into the pits. So most drivers are actually going for the two-stop. I'm a bit surprised here. Royal Rumble gaining with the slipstream. Is he going for a move? Had a look there, but decides not to. As Hayes obviously still got the DRS from Glorious Striker. All the way into turn 4 now as well. Yeah, rear wing going open for both cars here. Looks a bit weird if you don't know that Glorious Striker was ahead of him just back then. Glorious Striker on hards as well now, rejoining the track in P10. And with that wing change, he jumped Jumbo John as well, who is 3 seconds behind him. And look at that, Divial Buru will have DRS on the main straight this lap, I assume, if he goes faster than Jonathan Mooney through the final corners. Checkpoint coming up. No, it's not enough actually. Good third sector from the Red Bull here. Is he going to respond to the other drivers? No. Jonathan Mooney is staying out. And with that high wing from Divi, I don't think Jonathan is going to be under threat of an overtake here, even with... Oh, yeah, never mind. I totally forgot. Divi doesn't have DRS, even though he is within 7/10 of him right now. But that Williams is really lacking top speed, as he had a real power drift there into turn 1 and also out of turn 3. The rears are just overheating, even on the hards, which are arguably the better tire for the first stint, because they can withstand higher temperatures. But I can see the one-stop being faster around here. You just, at some point, and we already passed that point by a few laps, I think, starting lap 5, you just gotta be super careful, especially on those mediums. Lifting wherever you can in these S's, can't take them flat anymore with them high tire temperatures. Yeah, Divi is suffering from oversteer, or his rears are giving up, and he almost loses out that DRS. Yeah, look at that. That's just drifting. He is drifting around the corners. Beautiful helicopter cam for us there, as Little Jumbo John is the next one to get a 3-second here. Will we see an overtake here from Divi? He is still too far away, even with that DRS. Further down the road, three-way fight, as Clyde has now caught up to Hayes, who is still behind Royal Rumble. 11 laps in, and we've still got 3 drivers on the mediums. I'd say they are probably on a one-stop then. Look at that. Clyde is basically pushing Hayes around the corners with his front wing all the way up his diffuser, as Bly spun into the pit entry. Not a great day for Haas. Alright then, let's have a look. David Brewer. Is he gonna nail that final corner this time? Oh, it's Jonathan Mooney actually this time, who had a power slide, and Divi is right behind him. I do not think that he can defend it this time. Yeah, Jonathan Mooney got no ERS left. A little bit of contact there. Felt a bit unnecessary, as Clyde gets the move done on Hayes. I mean, no question about that. The mediums are dog shit by now. But you've got to suffer a few laps now. At least till lap 15. If you want to go for that one stop. And even then, I feel like 21 laps on the hards is still pretty long. So we get another move done. The Mercedes of BITW passing Real Joker for P6. And Destructive J with the fresh hards right behind them. So he is gonna wait for any mistake to get past them, yeah, as soon as possible, as he wants to gain time on the cars ahead of him. Especially the top 2, top 3, which are on a one-stop. Oh, that's Jonathan Mooney in the pits, but he went very, very slow and cautious. Maybe with another accidental drift. He's now going for that hard tire. 23 laps to go. That's a long way. Might also be a 2-stop, and look at that massive undercut. As actually, Jay is going for both at the same time here. Whoa. Real Joker closing that door. But yeah, look at the tire advantage. Great drive from Jay. Also gets the DRS here now to make sure he's gonna keep that P5. Great move. Great overtake. And he can now go and catch up to the cars ahead. Another power drift here. And that's just the driver suffering from that high tire temperatures. Going wide there into that corner as well. If you are struggling that much with the tires, you should probably go for that 2-stop. Get a new fresh set of tires. Or, yeah, try to find a way to cool the tires down by lifting in Sector 2. Clyde is showing some great pace here, is right behind Royal Rumble, both of them actually. Yeah, with a very good first stint. Yeah, Clyde is not going for a move. Thought about it there for a second, but decided not to. Maybe around here into turn 4, but he's just not close enough. He's got the ERS advantage over Royal Rumble. And as it seems, the better tires. So Royal Rumble leaves the track. Has to be cautious on the rejoin and does so by letting Clyde go. The Visa cash-up car taking advantage there and moves up into P2. Yeah, so the gap for Divial Brewer is now 9 seconds. As we got yellows in Sector 2. Perm Bowden losing it on this curb right here, where the stake just went over. Easily enough to unsettle the car and, yeah, crash into the wall. The wing completely gone for the Aston Martin. People are very cautious in the pit lane, but rightfully so. No one wants to get 10 seconds for speeding. Yeah, as Jumbo John gets passed by Jonathan Mooney. I still think Jonathan Mooney will have a hard time going to the end. Same for Royal Rumble. Actually, Royal Rumble might be able to do it. 17 laps on hards should be fine. I mean, look at that. Clyde and... not 17, sorry. 20, 22, 21, 22 laps on the hards. But I think it's possible. I was gonna say, Divial Brewer's gap is 8 seconds because his rivals have pitted and started on the mediums, but Clyde is catching big time. That was almost 10 seconds last lap. I think he gained over 2 seconds just in this lap. Is Clyde maybe on for something here? Maybe a podium, maybe more, as Glorious Striker into the stadium goes into P4, overtaking BITW, who is the last one out on track with them mediums. 14 laps old mediums. Is he going into pits? Yes, he is. Great stint for the Mercedes driver, who might be on a one-stop here. Little Jumbo John now stuck behind the 2 Red Bulls as they switch position into turn 1. Is he gonna have a look here maybe on Glorious Striker? Glorious Striker, the second Red Bull here, won't have DRS. So maybe there's a chance going into turn 4. The Red Bull saving his battery or might be out of ERS. Ferrari having a look at the inside, gets pushed a little off track. Maybe a switchback, but no. Just not enough space here for an overtake. A little bit of contact there. Red Bull closing the door quite aggressively, but I'd say that's still fair. As I think we just saw Hayes getting past Royal Rumble. Yeah, look at that. Clyde gained another second in that lap. Clyde by far... Yeah, okay, he's not the fastest car on track because we've got cars further back on fresher tires. But he is catching Divi by... yeah. It's second each lap at least. And a lap later into turn 1 now, Jumbo John gets the move done on Glorious Striker. And the Ferrari is now going to try to chase down that other Red Bull sitting in P4. However, Jonathan Mooney with the fresher tires. Whew, yeah. We are almost halfway through the race. The race itself calmed down a little bit. We've had, I would say, yeah, an exciting half. But now the grid is split up a little more because we've got different strategies. First of all, we had half the grid starting on hards, the other half on mediums, and then everyone is on a different strat here, either on a 1 or 2 stop. Oh, look at that, Clyde. I think he was 2 seconds faster this lap. Oh, over 2, I think 2.5 seconds faster than Divi Alburo. Clyde is, yeah, pushing like crazy. Great pace from him right now. Just lap to the Haas there. Did Clyde get DRS from him? No, he did not. But although Destructive J on that 2-stop is closing in, I do not think he is gaining enough on Clyde right here. For the 1-stop strat, I'd say you've got to go at least 3, ideally 4 more laps on them hard tires for Divi and Clyde before you can go on those mediums and drive to the end. The medium tire for that second stint will have less issues with the tire temperatures due to lower fuel, of course. Same for the tire wear, but I think you don't want to pit too early, as with the higher tire wear the mediums are really dropping off after like 8 or 9 laps. So at the moment I feel like the hards are the better tire in general, so you want to make use of them. And yeah, last lap, that's another 2 seconds gain from Clyde right here. This man is flying, and he can now already see Divial Brew there in the lead, and he is catching him. Look at that, smooth through the corners. A little bit of a snap there, but that's just racing. Great pace. Let's stay on board here, actually. It's very gentle on the brakes. Great driving from him. And look at that. Divi is struggling like crazy. We saw him losing his rears after 9 laps. Imagine how it's gonna be now after 19. He is lifting through all the corners here. While this guy can go flat out and will now, yeah, be in the DRS for next lap. That is crazy how much time Divi is losing due to tire temperature, I assume. I don't see any damage on that Williams. So yeah, that's just Clyde managing his tires way better than Divi here. So this might be the one for the win now, as Divi is going into the pits, and this is a little awkward right now because I feel like that might be a little too early for the mediums. Of course, he's gonna get a huge undercut, and he was losing time like crazy. So for him personally, maybe it was the right strat here now to pit. But he's gonna suffer at the end of the race on those mediums. Yeah, look at that. Jay on the fresher tires and on the 2-stop is gaining less than half a second each lap on Clyde. That's not enough, especially with a mistake like that. And Jonathan Mooney goes through into P2 now. And yeah, without a fight, he is now chasing down Clyde. He, on the other hand, yeah, I wasn't sure what his strat would be. 7 lap old hards, 16 to go. Can you do 25 laps on the hards? I think you can. And if you want to win the race, you probably want to go for it. But even if not, Jonathan Mooney is looking like the race winner here, even with another stop. He's got the freshest tires up there, so if he doesn't make it to the end, no one else will. Clyde now responding to Divial Brewer's undercut, coming into the pits a lap later, as we've got the McLaren into the wall of not Corsi but Matt. How's the front wing looking? We get the helicopter cam, so we won't be able to see it. Where is Clyde gonna come out? He's gonna be jumped by Divi. Yeah, losing about 2 seconds. 2.5 maybe, that's a normal undercut. Stays ahead of Real Joker and BITW though, so that saves him from a bit of traffic. A little bit of contact there between the Mercedes and the Stake. The Mercedes now going for the switchback, another chance here into turn 4. And Real Joker, after realizing he might have done... he might have made a mistake there into turn 1. Doesn't defend it into turn 4. Let's the Mercedes back past. Yeah, fair driving here. Yeah, look at them. Hayes and Royal Rumble. I think they've stayed together for like almost 12, 13 laps, working together to catch up to the boys ahead. Real Joker, 3 seconds. Not the first, won't be the last, as the Destructive J is now the first one who comes in for his second pit stop. Ferrari crew doing a great job here. The Bilbo with the fresh mediums. Fastest lap, of course. And J also just staying ahead of BITW. Is he though? The Mercedes with lots of high speed, but not enough. So for J, fresh hearts and clean air could be crucial towards the end now. But I think if Jonathan Mooney got another set of mediums, he might be the only one going for medium, hard, medium. And that could be the best strategy here tonight. He's got the freshest tires, is pulling away from his teammate. And if anyone could go to the end, it would be him. But I could see him go for the 2-stop and regain all that time, as he would be fighting Divi and Clyde, who are currently sitting in P5 and 6 with 13 laps to go. I think he's gonna know for himself what is best. We can't see his tire wear, so he's got himself in a good position though. Let's check for that gap. Sorry, what am I doing here? The gap to the leader. Jonathan Mooney is 16.4 and 19.6 seconds ahead of Divi and Clyde. And yeah, if he goes for that 2-stop with the fresher tires, he could be fighting for that win, or he's going to the end, of course. I do not see them medium runners be able to close that gap in time. They might be gaining over a second per lap now, early on, but the mediums will die after 5 or 6 laps, and with 13 laps to go, could be a close one. Alright then, Royal Rumble and Hayes, currently our closest fight. However, we haven't seen an overtake between those two in like forever. They are just working together basically. In fact, Jumbo John might be going for an overtake here now on Real Joker with that tire advantage. Yeah, almost overtaking. Yeah, he's overtaking him before we cross the start-finish line. I mean, they're still side by side, but with the help of DRS, the Ferrari is now pulling away and gets the job done. Is now trailing his teammate by 9 seconds. Obviously, that wing change early on didn't help. As look at that. Royal Rumble and Hayes side by side. The Aston Martin defending P3, and Diviel Brewer is now in the mix, and this is giving Clyde a chance to catch up, as Divi is now stuck in traffic here from the cars ahead. 2.3, 2.2 the gap to Clyde behind him in P6. So we got yellows, that is Bly again. The Haas spinning into the stadium. Clyde 1.7, 1.5. That traffic is hurting Diviel Brewer here. The long straight and the DRS coming up now. Clyde is not within DRS just yet, but if Diviel Brewer doesn't get past Hayes and Royal Rumble now, Clyde will be right at the back of him. Glory Striker is coming in to the pits for his second pit stop, going for another fresh mediums. And comes out on track right by Little Jumbo John in P9. So, yeah, look at that, Destructive J as well. Both Clyde and Destructive J caught up to the train of Royal Rumble here. Diviel Brewer didn't manage to pass the Aston Martin, got ahead of Hayes though, but is still a little bit stuck here. As Royal Rumble goes wide. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Clyde pushing Hayes wide. Hayes going for that move into that hairpin. Clyde just able to stay ahead, but will have no DRS from Diviel Brewer, and this might give Jay a chance, who, yeah, got the better traction out of the final corner, passing Hayes, and is now chasing Clyde for P4, and now Jay might be onto something here. As further up the road, Divi now has to get past Royal Rumble, does so into turn 1. Jay with the better tires. How much is he gonna gain? Obviously not enough for a move on the Aston Martin, but he will be trying to get past him next lap and is then gonna chase down Divi Brewer. And I do think that Jay is on the better tires here and the better strat in general. Was looking for a move there on the Aston Martin, who's really not looking too good on these old hard tires. The Aston Martin here really struggling with that left-hander, going wide again. Manages to stay ahead of Jay. Jay lost another second to Divi Brewer here, but will get that move done now on the start-finish straight. Do we have a little bit of sandbagging here towards the detection point? That lost another 5/10, but he will now get the DRS, the overtake, and of course that P3 spot surely. Yeah, Royal Rumble got nothing to defend himself. And Clyde is now... Oh, he's still not able to pass Hayes here. Clyde is still stuck in P6. He was right behind Divi Brewer a few laps ago. And is now fighting that train himself. Has not found a way past these two guys ahead of him. Got real close to the stake right there. As the Aston Martin goes wide again. Royal Rumble doesn't have any wing damage, but he's missing every corner. Especially this one coming up. He went wide the last 2-3 laps here. Keeps it on track this time as I'm watching. But he's losing so much time in the S's. Clyde might be going for a surprise move here on Hayes. What's he gonna do? Patiently waiting. Head. Positioned himself for a little dive there. Decided not to do it. But now has to burn. As Royal Rumble goes into the pits for the second pit stop. Giving Clyde a chance now to pass Hayes. Both having DRS and without a slipstream. They're side by side about equal pace. But the DRS advantage for Jay, Clyde, means that the Visa Cash App car goes into P4 and now will try to regain that lost time. 2.5 seconds to Jay. A little over 3 seconds to Divi Brewer. That time, Divi is no longer catching. The mediums are now down. They are no longer faster than the hards. If Jonathan Mooney is able to get away without a puncture here, completing that one stop, he is easily gonna... Oh my god, Jonathan Mooney got wing damage front left, I just realized. That is not helping him. And like I said with Little Jumbo John, who lost his right end plate, which is affecting left-handers, losing the left end plate means he's gonna lose a significant amount of downforce in right-handers, like heel turn 1, turn 3, and as we're going clockwise, most corners are right-handers. However, nonetheless, he is still gaining on Divi Brewer. Make that J now as he moves into P2. With 7 laps to go after this one, 16 seconds. I don't think Jonathan Mooney is fighting Jay here. Jonathan Mooney is fighting the tires and the potential threat of a puncture. As Jay is flying away. These mediums are dead. So maybe it was a mistake to pit that early. And I do see Clyde going for that P3. As we saw Divi struggle at the end of his last stint. So he might struggle on the end of this stint as well. Clyde's pace in general did seem faster than Divi's as well. Overall, I don't want to jinx anyone, but I'm very happy with the amount of penalties we've got so far. Mexico is not an easy track. And of course I don't want to jinx Divi, who told me he hasn't got any penalties so far this season. And we've been to Kota and Canada. So once more, shout out to Divi for not even gaining 3 seconds for track limits, as Lil Jumbo John is, I think, the first one on 6 seconds now. Bly already got 6 seconds, but it's only 4 drivers. Only 4 drivers so far with time penalties. That's pretty solid. Jay now gained 1.5 seconds last lap. I mean, sure, that's a lot, but it's by far not enough. And Jonathan Mooney knows about this gap, so he's just gonna nurse them tires home. Jonathan Mooney is to win here. Jay will be pushing, obviously, to not... Yeah, to try to make Mooney's life a little more difficult, but I don't think that he can put on enough pressure here in the final 6 laps that are coming up now. As Hayes is the next driver to pick up 3 seconds. In fact, Glorious Striker is right behind him and will probably go for an overtake now on the start-finish straight. Look at the pace, yeah, Clyde closed that gap to Divi within 1 lap. Gained 2 seconds, I think, ish. In the last 1, maybe 2 laps, is right behind Divi, side by side now with the help of DRS. Obviously Divi also with the higher downforce, got nothing to defend himself here, and lost that podium right here and then. And yeah, as we saw with the hards, it's the same for Divi on the mediums now. The rear is so super loose. Glorious Striker made its way past into P5, overtaking Hayes. It might be the tires or the setup, but Divi is suffering from severe oversteer. Let's have a look here as we get, as Corsi gets 3 seconds. Won't affect his race too much. In fact, Permboden might go ahead, but with the fresher tires he should be doing that on track either way. And Divi is watching Clyde get away into the distance. And with that, the chance of the podium. But yeah, with all due respect, Clyde's pace was just better. So currently we've got BITW looking for potentially 8 positions gained, as Little Jumbo John got 6 seconds worth of penalties. So that's a solid race, starting P15. As Little Jumbo John and Hayes are fighting. The Ferrari might be able to create a gap here now with that clean air. Maybe he's gonna get away from BITW, but won't be easy. Yeah, apart from that, not too many position changes, obviously. Yeah, Devil Buru, Jumbo John losing 2, Glorious Striker, Clyde gaining 2. Jay gaining a position to Divi as well, so yeah, Jay had some great pace, but the one stop is just significantly faster. And with Mooney being the only one, I think, to pull it off. Sorry, I gotta correct myself. The only one to pull it off while starting on the mediums. Yeah, you can see it. Like, I don't think Jay even gained on that last lap. Or Jay just decided it's not worth. Like, he's not gonna be able to close that gap. Wow, okay. Divi now also lost out to Glorious Striker, and I think Glorious Striker is on a 2-stop. His tires are a little better than Divi's. Actually, 5 laps are a huge difference, and I could see Divi go into the pits if he's struggling with the rears that much. if he's suffering from high temperatures and all that, and maybe doesn't have the best setup, could he be fighting for a puncture? Could he lose on track to Lil Jumbo John Hayes? Or yeah, that could be a very bad race for him. And he's gonna blame me for jinxing him. I'm very sorry. But if you're watching this either live or back after the race, first of all, hi. But yeah, thank you for making the championship more exciting now. It's for the greater good, trust me. So it's still a good result, and let me jinx you once more. 2 laps to go, Divi. Don't get a penalty, please. Clyde is pushing. With 3 laps to go. I'm sorry, it's not 2, it's 3 laps to go. Yeah, Jay got by far the better tires, so I do not see any position changes evolving in the future for the top 5. Maybe the top 6, 7. Hayes also on very old hard tires. But I guess it's the closest fight we've got so far. Or for now. The only one in fact, as there's really big gaps further down the grid. Not the most overtakes tonight, but Mexico is more about endurance, and as we saw, the setups are really crucial as they decide about what strat you are going to be able to pull off. And tonight, Jonathan Mooney, yeah, just had the best call there, I guess. Let's go on board with him, actually. As he's getting unlapped by, I think, Perm Bowden. But if Perm Bowden is not significantly faster, he should get blue flagged again and should move out of the way. However, he is looking like... Yeah, Perm Bowden should be fine. As Hayes gets the move done into turn 3. And gets away. How are the tires looking? From Little Jumbo John, not ideal. In fact, let's have a look at Jonathan Mooney. Yeah, the rear left, of course, a bit of graining, but that's what we have, what we would expect after 22 laps, as he is now starting his final lap tonight. So yeah, just bring it home, mate. Enjoy the final 70 seconds-ish. And after that, that's a well-deserved victory for you. And with that, our 7th winner in the 7th race this season, the Apex division. I had to double check, but I think Jonathan Mooney didn't win a race so far. We've got more position changes going on. Hayes overtaking Diviel Brewer now. Might not be enough time to create a 3-second gap to him, as Royal Rumble got past Little Jumbo John. Diviel Brewer losing out to... Does he have a puncture? Do we have fuel problems? Does he have a puncture? Diviel Brewer is going really, really slow. And Hayes is getting away, surely he already is away. BITW doesn't even have penalties, so this is a maximum of P7 for Divi. It's Jumbo John. Shit. Losing it in Sector 2 as I missed the, race winner tonight, crossing the finish line in P1. Jonathan Mooney, well-deserved victory. Destructive J, a great P2, great pace. Also for Clyde, coming home in P3 as Glorious Striker almost fought him down on that final lap, only half a second behind him. Great comeback on that 2-stop for the Red Bull. Great weekend for Red Bull in general, as Hayes crosses the finish line in 5th, with the penalty dropping down to P6. BITW starting all the way back, gaining 10 positions up to 5th place. Divial Bureau only coming home in P7. Went for that one stop, didn't work out, had massive problems on the rear tires. Royal Rumble coming home in P8 with Lil Jumbo John, and that spin in the final lap, P9 for him. Real Joker will be finishing in P10, unless we've got penalties changing that, as Perm Bowden is about 6 seconds behind him. Will finish in P11. We've got the McLarens lapped, so they're already finished, with Kershey in 12th, Matt in P13, and Bly 14th. This was the Mexico Grand Prix. An interesting one, strategy-wise, although towards the end we've had some fights and overtakes. But overall I would say a pretty clean race. A little bit of wheel banging, but nothing too bad. Thank you for covering again, Stephen Harris. No problem, mate. So my prediction was Jay, Mooney and Lil Jumbo John. Well, I had Jay and Mooney the other way around, and Jumbo John unfortunately down in P9. Great race from Clyde once again, as I've missed the yeah, whatever it was, fastest lap, pole setter and whatever, but either way, my driver of the day is gotta be BITW, gaining 10 positions tonight. Once again, shout out to Clyde and Jay, great pace overall, and Jonathan Mooney, of course, with the best strat tonight, winning by over 12 seconds. Alright then, this is me. Best of luck next week. Race 8 will be around Brazil. So, yep, have fun and good night, everyone.